Welcome to Fourth and Honor Victory. I'm your boy, Fight on Kristen.
And B Jenkins, man, we back again. Back
We
at it.
here, man. It's that time.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Good Thursday morning. We close to Saturday. 2 games away from the biggest game of the season. I feel like we say that every game. Every game
Right.
has been
Every
the
week
biggest
we say
game,
the
right?
same thing, right?
But it is with the building program and the type of season we're looking to have. Moved up one spot in the rankings. Really not concerned about that. We win this game, we definitely jump all those other teams, right?
Right.
Uh, we control our own destiny. So this is definitely, I mean, every game since after the Notre Dame game has been the biggest game of the season. The thing about us is we've been in playoffs.
Right.
So we've been in the playoff for ever since that Notre Dame loss. And
Right.
so here we are. We about to get into it, get into this Oregon preview, film study, kind of what we see from Oregon, kind of how we think we should attack them, some things we see and the keys, share our keys to victory. So, man, let's get on right into it with our first segment for this USC and Oregon Duck preview. All right, on to our first segment. Mama, there goes that man. One of my favorite segments. I love it. What we do here is we name a player on the opposing team side that we have to stop. We can't keep hearing their name. Can't keep saying, "Mama, there goes that man again," because he's destroying us. And also, we list our player on our squad, the good guys, as B say, on USC, that we have to keep hearing their name called, and they have to have a big game so that we can go back home to LA to the college with a victory to leave Eugene. So B, who is your player on the Oregon side, then the player on USC side that we have to keep saying, "Mama, there goes that man."
Well, for Oregon side, we can't continue to hear this name um, carry after carry on the offensive side of the ball, right? So they operate with a three-headed monster coming out of the backfield. But to me, in my opinion, the most dangerous running back they have is number 0. It's a true freshman, Jordan Davis. He's currently about, I think the kid is about 6'2", 6'3", 235, runs downhill hard. So far on the season, he has 66 carries, 461 yards with 12 touchdowns. So uh, that it's going to be hard to bring down. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have to wrap this kid up. You can't hit him and expect for him to go down or fumble. He does take care of the ball. Again, he's a tough carry. Almost remind me of a faster Brian Jackson, but he's a little faster than he is in the open field. The guy, I think right now he's the second leading carrier on the team. Right now is the leading carrier is Noah Whittingham, but I think they trust this freshman more so than they do the senior. So he's a freshman, and he may not be 6'2", 6'3". He might be 6 feet, but he's definitely every bit of 235 pounds. So it's one of those situations where you're gonna have to get him before he gets started. Once he reaches the second and third level, it's gonna be a tough tackle. It's gonna be hard to break down. Almost put you in the mind, like I said, of a faster Brian Jackson, or if I want to compare him at the college level, only, a real young Derrick Henry. Again, this kid, he's in open space. He's dangerous. So we want to make sure that we contain him. For the good guys, for the Trojans, the name that we want to continue to hear time after time, none other than our running back, King Miller. Now, I don't think that Oregon will load the box. I don't believe that they'll do that simply because of the threat that we have on the outside in our receiver core. That which means that if our offensive line can open up some holes, and I think they really rush only four. They try to get to the backfield to the quarterback with only 4 players. So if we can open up some holes along that offensive line, and Mr. King Miller can get into his usual grind mode. He's been pretty effective. Last game, he wasn't too effective. I understand that because of the weather conditions, but I expect for us to hear that name, King Miller, over and over again on Saturday.
All right, for me, I'm looking at Oregon's defense, and I don't want to, and forgive me, I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm gonna just say Mateo U.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Lily.
yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna say Mateo U. We have to contain him. You just basically broke it down. Oregon is very good up front, right?
Mhm.
With their front four. They do like to rush four a lot because they're able to get home. And he's the main guy, right? He's a beast on the
Right.
end. They normally can stop the run and normally get pressure with just that four without sending extra bodies. And so it's going to be important that we don't keep hearing his name in the pass or the run game, right?
Mhm.
For one, we want to run them out there 4-man front and make them commit some extra bodies up there so that we can get one-on-one matches, right? And they can't just drop seven and sit back in zone. And in the running game, we can't keep hearing his name called because he's crashing down, making plays because we need to be able to run the ball. Riley's offense, USC, our offense is best is when we can be where teams can't force us to be one dimensional, right? So we have to run the ball with success, make them linebackers come up, make them be aggressive so that we can hit them over the top in between them linebackers and safeties and get the
Right.
one-on-one coverage on our side. So we have to contain Mateo U. We cannot let him wreck shop and take over this game. Um, Oregon is tough. You can see what they're doing schematically and all that, but their
Mhm.
schedule has been so favorable that they haven't really faced a lot of competition to really dictate where they're at, though they beat those teams really good, right? Like you're supposed to.
Right.
Um, I mean, the best win was Penn State, but we see where Penn State is. But just looking at the Indiana game, Indiana was able to run the ball on them and keep
Right.
them off balance, right? So you have to be able to run the ball, and they were running in between the tackles, a lot of zone plays and things like that. On our side, I'm going to say it has to be none other than our quarterback, right?
Right.
We need a phenomenal game out of Jaden Miles. We need to keep hearing his name being called um, because we're going to have to be effective on offense. We're going to have to put up some points, right? Oregon has a very good offense. They can run the ball as good as Notre Dame can run the ball,
Right.
and they have better weapons on the outside in the pass game. So we're going to have to put up some points. We're going to have to keep hearing Jaden Miles' name called, especially in the zone read. So Mateo Unim can't just crash down, and they have to account for him. Those speed rushers they got on the edge, the way you make a fast defense, you attack them as you make them think, right? That way they
Right.
can't just play down here and run, make them think. Um, so definitely expect to hear his name in the run game as well as in the pass game because we have to have a big game out of our offense to walk out of here with the championship with the win. If you
Right.
look at our if you look at Marvel's performance this year, it's been outstanding. And this is not a criticism or not, but by far, we need the level of play we've gotten from them at home on the road, right? On the road this year, 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, right? At,
Right.
at home, it's been totally different. We've seen the Nebraska game, and the struggles, but the kid finds a way to win. And that's not a knock on anything he's done this year. He's been fantastic. I'm one of his biggest supporters. Both of us would calling for him last year, right? And saying he's the
Right.
guy.
Right.
He's just 2 plays away from being a Heisman. And we seen it this year. We agree. But if we need to get to play this Saturday for 4 quarters, like we know he can play and how we seen him play this year, especially at home. So those are my two from Mama. There goes that man. All right, let's get on to the next segment. USC keys to victory. What are your keys to victory so we can walk up in Eugene, hit the quacks in the mouth, and
Keys
come
to
home with the
victory.
dub?
Keys to victory on the defensive side of the ball. Got to do what? Stop their run game. Oregon, whether you got the listeners out there have a difference of opinion, they are a run first team. They love
Mm-hmm.
running downhill. Like I said, they have a three-headed monster
And
led it
good at
by
it.
led by Noah Whittingham, number 6, 76 carries on the season, 625 yards with 5 touchdowns. But I believe that their go-to guy, in my opinion, is none other than the freshman Jordan Davidson, 461 yards and 12 touchdowns. Um, Another thing to note, their quarterback Dante Moore, he will pull it and run it. So they run a similar RPO on offense. He has right so far, and he's carried the ball 48 times. One thing of note with Dante Moore, He's been sacked 10 times this season. So we defense can get to him. I think that Coach Lynn is going to have to disguise some looks at the line of scrimmage. He does get confused a lot with the different formations. So if we could show some late changes at the line of scrimmage, but we want to stay a press man on the outside. I understand that they have some pretty good receivers, but from what I hear, they're going to be out some of those receivers are going to be out. Evan Stewart, of course, he was lost for the season. Gary Bryant, transferred from SC, one of their Oregon a few years back. He's been battling with a couple knee injuries on the season. And they also have the outstanding freshman. We tried to get him, Decarian Moore. From what I understand, he's questionable for the game. So the primary targets on the outside, not sure how this is going to shape up for them, but I know that their tight end is back. I mentioned him earlier. I don't know if I mentioned him earlier or not. Mr. Kenyon, I can't pronounce his name. Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq. Thanks. He catches the ball, turns into a running back. That's the kid that I was referring to.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. He's 6'3", 235, 240. Chisel reminds me of a shorter version of it was the receiver we had last year, the one that went to UCLA and came back. You remember him?
Oh, you talking about number 81?
Yeah, he reminds me of him. I can't. I'm blanking on his name.
Sorry about
that. Sorry about that. But the true Trojan fans know who I'm referring to. Reminds me of a stouter. Was it Kyle Ford?
Kyle Ford.
Reminds me of a stouter Kyle Ford. So he can't catch the ball, and he is dangerous in space. So again, once he catches that ball, he turns into a tight end. So for me, I'm going to say, hey, load the box like we've been doing, and make Dante Moore beat you. Now he is somewhat of a better quarterback than what we saw on last week. So he can't hit, the open spaces in any kind of zone. So that's why I'm saying, hey, look, we show him the different fronts. We changed the fronts last second, right before the snap. Maybe rush 4, maybe rush 5, drop the wrist back in coverage, and cover those quick slant routes. So anytime you want to get this kid behind the sticks to where they can't run it, their defense their offense behind the sticks to where they can't run it, they're going to throw it. He's going to be looking to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So you want to show a different front. Like I said, post snap, show something different, drop back into those quick slant areas, the ones where he like to throw it. Other than that, he's going to throw it at the line. They have some decent blocking on the outside. But I believe our cornerbacks are physical enough. They've been battle tested enough to overcome that on the outside, even if they decide to go down the field. Get him on the move. Again, show late blitzes and confuse Dante Moore on offense.
All right, my keys to victory is first is simply start fast on both sides of the ball.
Right.
We have to start fast. Illinois offense started fast, defense didn't. Right. Nebraska neither started fast, but defense picked it up much quicker than offense did. Right. Last week, defense didn't start fast. Right. Northwestern defense didn't start fast. As a team, we need to start fast. Right. And this week, like there is no climbing out of a 14, 17-point hole Saturday.
Not with this team.
No, not with this team. Right. And it'll get ugly real fast if that's the case, because then we'll start pressing. So we have to start fast. We have to play 4 full quarters. Right. I don't believe that we played 4 complete quarters since what you called a preseason game.
Preseason game. Yeah.
Right. In every other game, we played well for spurts.
We did okay. We did pretty good against Michigan. I will say that they came out.
Yeah,
they came out with the ball against Michigan.
Yeah, the Michigan game as a team, we did play. We played 4 quarters against Michigan. We need that type of performance where offense, defense, special teams, everyone is playing their best game for 4 quarters, and no one is taking a lapse. Right, where the defense might be holding, but offense struggling. Offense moving. Defense can't get off the field at all. Offense moving, defense get a team to punt, special teams give up a penalty to give them the ball. Right. We need to play 4 complete quarters this game. Next is limit the big play. Limit the big play. Make them earn everything. This is week 11, right?
Right.
Um, I would be a fool to think that we're going to stop their run game. We haven't stopped anyone's run game all year. But what we have been able to do towards the second half after that Notre Dame game, what we have not been doing, we have not been giving up as many explosive runs, the 10 yards or more, right?
Right.
We're giving up 4 yards or more in between that 4, 7, and 8. We're giving that up a lot still, but we have lessened down on the run plays that's over 10 yards and 20 yards, right? So we have to limit the big play on the ground and the air. Make Oregon work for it, right? Do not constantly give up the big chunk plays. Defense has to limit Oregon's first down rush yards. Same thing I said against Iowa. And the reason why is somehow we have to find a way to get somehow we have to find a way to produce a negative play on first down,
Right.
right? Last week against Iowa, we had no tackles for loss, anything.
Mm.
We need those this game, right? Not only that, if we're not getting a tackle for loss, at least limit them to 2 yards on first down. We
Right.
can't keep giving up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down on the ground. We have to limit their first, and this is why. Because another key is that the defense has to be ready to play 4 downs every drive. You're talking about a team and a coach that if it's 2 yards or less, they're going for it on fourth down.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just Dan Lanning DNA. He's been doing it ever since he's been with Oregon. They can be on their own 20, 30-yard line. It's 4th and 2, 4th and 1, he's going for it. So
Yeah.
defense has to be prepared to play 4 downs.
And
And
the special teams too. They will
yeah,
do a fake. They will run a fake punt. I mean, yeah, they
yeah.
will do that.
But they definitely go for it on the fourth down, even if it's on their own side. So defense got to be prepared to play 4 downs, and limiting them on the first down and getting negative plays on first down will help keep them in, third and longest where it's not 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and they're going for it because he's going to go for it, right? He's going to
Right.
say my run game versus that rush defense, I'm going for it, and he goes for it anyway. But due to the case, he's going to go for it. Win the turnover battle, right? We don't need any turnovers. Don't help them out. They got the home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? Don't help them out. Win the turnover battle. And lastly, man, as a team, we just have to play a complete game. Every phase, coaching, offense, defense, special team, we have to play a
Mhm.
complete game for 4 games. The good thing about it is we had a good game against Michigan, but we still had a couple of turnovers. I don't think we've played the best game that we can play as a team yet. And that's what gives me hope and gets me excited that we have an opportunity to come out Saturday to play our best game, to put the best footage on the field that we have seen all year, especially defensively, offensive with the talent. So go out and hey, you ain't got nothing to lose. The world is all against you. Nobody
Right.
thinks you has a chance. Play loose, play fast, play fearless. You don't got nothing to lose. Nobody outside your fan base, and most of the fan base don't expect it, right? The victory. Outside of us and a couple other people that we know, I'm sure it's,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of people I'm hearing that don't believe, right? So you don't have nothing to lose. Go out there and play fast, play physical, play fearless, and play free. You playing with house money.
Right.
Riley, Lynn, you coaching with house money. No, you're a 9.5, 10.5 point underdog. Nobody is expecting you to win outside your, like us, your fan base. But
Mhm.
there's no pressure. Go play loose. So as a team, we need to play our best game. All right. It's that time, man. You ready to get it
Exactly.
popping? First
Let's,
down.
let's get to it.
1st and 10. All right. You're scouting on Oregon offense and how USC should attack them on defense.
Well, I touched on it during the last segment, right? Loading the box. Again, they have a three-headed monster in the backfield, and all three running backs bring something to the table. The quarterback does have wheels; he will pull it down and run it. So we have to be disciplined in our gaps. We have to be disciplined with setting the edge, not allowing keep those defensive ends, keeping that outside arm free, turning everything back up inside. And when we make contact, we're gonna have to wrap up. Again, I do believe in our DBs, our corners especially. We talk about the Carlos Nicholson, we talk about Marcellus Williams, and The kid from Texas, I
Conley.
keep like Conley, Braden Conley. I apologize. We talk about those three. They're going to be important, players, in this game right here. This is probably going to be one of the most important games on the season, right? They're going to be called upon to really man up on the outside. Again, I don't expect for Oregon's most dangerous receivers to be there, but the guys behind them that
Our
that
athletes too. Yeah.
that can play also. So again, I'm going to look for them to play press man. I'm going to look for us to really load that box and try to contain the run. I know we may not be able to limit their run, or excuse me, not limit, but stop their run. But that's one thing that we can't allow. We can't allow for them to do both. We can't allow for them to pass and run on us. That's a recipe for disaster. So I'm looking for a test match in this game, Chris. Chess match between coordinators. We talk about Lincoln Riley going up against their DC is pretty good, and Coach Lynn going against their OC, which is a pretty good OC himself, and they got the weapons just like we got weapons. And if you ask me, we pretty much these two teams pretty much mirror each other. I think they're a little more. They got a little more depth along the defensive line, along the offensive line, which is the most important thing. We talk about the trenches, right? But this team has been battle tested. So that's why I'm saying that we definitely have an opportunity to go into to Eugene, Oregon, and come away with the victory. Now, if we hadn't been battle tested, we hadn't been in those big games, we hadn't been in these stadiums playing, in weather unfavorable conditions, then I would kind of worry about this one. But this game, it just seems like it's set up. Even if it rains, it's just set up for us to go in there and execute what we've been practicing and playing with all season long. Even with the backup DBs, you see that we lost some DB our safeties last game. We lost Fitzgerald and we lost Kamara Ramsey during the last game, and who steps right in? Um, Kennedy Urlacher had probably one of the bigger plays on the season. You know, you say that football is a game of inches. Well, had our receiver come down and bound, we're probably looking at a different outcome in that game, right? Probably looking at a different outcome in this whole season. But because of his IQ and his to push that kid out of bounds, now we're sitting at 8-2 instead of sitting at 7-3, and we're still able to do what? Push forward to our overall objective that they set for themselves at the beginning of the season. So I look for those DBs and those safeties to step up. It's the next man up mentality. But I also look for us to do what? Load that box up and trust in our DBs to man up on the outside.
All right, man. And so what I see from Oregon is typical spread team.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of RPO, but they run many formations. Sometimes they'll go. We talked about it earlier off camera today.
Right.
The three tight end sets. Sometimes they go two. Sometimes they want to play power ball, but they are a spread team. They look to get the ball out of Moore's hand quick. They do a lot of screens to the outside as a extension of their run game, to wide receiver, things like that. A lot of quick passes to get the ball out of his hand. Um, Give him a lot of easy reads and looks, right? For pre-designed plays. Moore, he's good, but he struggles if he's pressured, right? In the
Right.
games where teams have been able to get to him and pressure him, he's made the costly mistakes and he's got inaccurate. But the kid can play.
Right.
Very athletic, can take off and run. We talked about their tight end. It's a man child. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a matchup nightmare for
Sadiq.
yep,
Yeah.
Sadiq for any linebacker. We talked about their three-headed monster that they have, right? But the reason they had that three-headed monster because up front their offensive line is very good. Uh, Especially they're better in run blocking than pass blocking, but in the run game they move people, right? That's a fear of mine going into this game, because they love to move people and they move people very well.
Right.
And we've seen our people get moved on the defensive uh, line. So very interesting matchup to how it's going to show up. But I've seen them get dominated. Yes, Indiana is a good team. Yes, Indiana is physical, have a good up front, and linebackers come downhill. But against Indiana, I mean, what gave that offensive line problems was that Indiana would just send four sometimes, but even in the run game, um, they were doing a lot of stunting. So I think we need to stunt on this offensive line, right?
Mhm.
Indiana had a lot of success with their defensive linemen stunting, and when that three technique was stunt to go to the eight gap, the linebacker would just shoot that gap on the run blitz,
Mhm.
and they were making a lot of tackles for loss in doing that. So defensively, I'll check them. Um, we're gonna have to do some stunts. Their offensive line. I've watched many games this year and watching a film. When Oregon's offensive line get in trouble, it's dealing with stunts and things. And um, I don't know if the offensive line just be confused because they're athletic. So I don't understand why they can't pick up a stunt. But you know, hey, we need to try stunting it. Um, how will we attack them? So remember, I was saying that I don't see that we made really any adjustments in these last two games or in Nebraska that
Right,
we
right.
were
I
doing the same
recall that.
thing. Right?
I recall
So
that.
this is what I'm going to say. I went back and watched those games again. There was an adjustment, and it was scheme wise. And if we look at those three games, the most successful run defense that we have had is yes when we go 4-3. You remember the last you was asking me about a zero technique, and I was basically saying that's when
Right.
somebody
That's
lines
still
over the center.
right
Right?
over the center. Right. I
When
remember that.
when we do that, it doesn't go good. Believe it or not, but when we're in a 4-3, our best run defense and what we did against Iowa, and when we were able to, to get those stops to get it going, what we did is actually didn't line anyone up over the center. We lined them up as three techniques, and we brought our linebackers in, and the
Mhm.
linebackers was covering those gaps. So this goes back to what you were saying in Illinois, line those
Right. Bring
linebackers
them
up
up
in
in
the
the
gap.
gaps. Right. Bring
And
up the
so
line.
what happened is not having no one over the center, it made the center have to come out and come get a linebacker. That way, our three techniques couldn't get doubled. Because when we go to those 5 man fronts and we got people in the A and B gap, our interior guys, they're getting double teamed and they're getting washed
Mhm.
out, and then the center is working their way to the linebacker,
Right.
right? So if you don't have guys on the inside that can take on the double and hold up like that, you get what we've been seeing. But our most successful run defense has been where we line those interior guys up outside that guard and let the linebackers come in inside and play that gap. And so we need to do that and let Gentry with Stevens and
Jaden
what's number
Walker.
31?
Jaden
Jaden
Walker.
Walker and we have Gentry as our queen. That chess piece that moves around doing different things. That's when we have been the most successful against the game. And I went back. You look at the Iowa game in the second half. We did it on first down. Got to stop on the run.
Right.
uh did it on first down, got to stop on run. The next one we went out of it, and that's when we seen our three technique get pushed 8 yards back, and they ran for 12 yards, and then they went back to it. You know what I'm saying? So I expect to see that from the get-go. I would hope so. But that's go back to
Yeah.
what you said. Maybe Lynn is waiting to do that in the second half to make you think you can. But this game we need to.
Or maybe he's saving this for his masterpiece. Maybe he's saving his best for this game right here. Maybe that's what he's been
Maybe.
doing all season. You know,
Maybe, but that
playing
those are
for.
those that defense there, that alignment has been our most successful defense against the rush. Is when we don't line anyone up in the A and B gap, we line them up out there in between the guard and the tackle, and we have the linebackers control that A and B gap. That way the center is not doubling our interior guys, and that way they can get 1-on-1. You see what I'm saying? That way, the center is not, if they're in the A and B gap, what the center is doing is doubling them and then working his way to the linebacker as they get pushed back. So that's a little wrinkle Lynn did, is to line to make sure our interior guys can get 1-on-1. You know what I mean? And not
Right.
be double. Um, Pressure more. We got to pressure more. He doesn't. He's not as good when he's pressured, right? Indiana pressured him, and he had struggles, and he definitely throw you one. And me and you have the same thing: is give him some simulated pressure, disguise the look, right?
Right.
Bring everybody up, act like they come in, drop different people back here and there, confuse them, make them think he'll throw you one, because 9 out of 10 times in when you do that, he's looking to throw that slant off the RPO, and
Right.
that's where he's been hurt at. Most of his interceptions has come on throwing that RPO slant route, and the linebacker dropped back because he thought it was coming and got him. All right, moving on to second down. You're scouting on Oregon defense and how USC should attack them on offense.
Oh man, on defense, they got some guys at linebackers. They actually got some dudes at the linebackers. You mentioned one earlier in a segment. Linebacker Mateo Uyunglele currently has 4 sacks on the season. It's surprising. I don't know whether or not they just use him as a rush in or bring him in on third downs, but he doesn't have that many tackles. After doing my scouting on him, he only has about maybe 17 tackles on the season. The kid that we're gonna have to worry about is number 44, Tetron Tuioti. Tuioti is number 44. 44 tackles on the season with 5.5 sacks. So they probably more than likely they blitz him late. They rushed 4. We talked about that earlier, and they dropped the rest of them back on third down, but on first and second down when they're probably anticipating that you're going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball, any opponent is going to run the ball. They typically load in the box. I've seen them do a couple of run blitzes. So for me, what we're going to have to do is again make sure we get some positive rushes, get ahead of the chains on first and second down. If you're going to drop 4, me personally, I would come out passing the ball from Riley because you know what this what we're going to do. I would spread them out and put our receivers to work. We talk about one of the best receiving core in the nation. I think personally, the best receiving core in the nation. We talk about the combination of Lemon and Lane. So I would come out throwing the ball. A lot of times you want to run the ball to set up the pass. I'm looking at throwing the ball to set up the run. So once we can get them, back into that zone, get that defense, get the personnel in there that could possibly take the top off. We talk about it to Nook Hines, maybe even some of our other possession receivers, drive those DBs down the field, and maybe implement some draw plays, some screen plays. I noticed that they also come hot off those edges. I think we're gonna have to screen them until they stop, screen them until they slow it down. And then it's gonna have to be a chess match. Riley is gonna have to really dig in his bag this game, man. Again, I think these two teams pretty much mirror each other, if you ask me. We talk about talent for talent. Of course, they've had, the more recruiting success here over the past 10 seasons, because we were getting our act together. But when we talk about here recently, I think our talent level has caught up, and again, we've been battle tested. So for me, if I'm Raleigh, I'm looking at attacking their defense by opening it up with the pass, getting the ball into Jacoby Lane's hands. I want to see him become more comfortable in this game. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to have to lean on him more this game than anything else, depending on how they cover Lemon. I don't know whether or not they're going to come out with a shell coverage on him, or whether or not they're going to try to play him one-on-one. I wouldn't play him one-on-one. They're asking to be killed if you do that. But for me, I'm going to say Riley should come out with the pass to set up the run.
All right, man. So they run a 4-2-5 hybrid 3-4. Depending. What I mean. I expect them to run more of a 4-2-5 against us for most of the game, but they will run a 3-4. Defensive line wise, they are good, big, fast, and physical. Right. They do have a good defensive line. They're the number one. They have the number one pass defense in the Big Ten. Right. But I say that because, again, if you look at the route that they took to get here, they haven't been tested outside of Indiana. Right now, their best win is Penn State. And they took Penn State to overtime, and we see where Penn State is. So they haven't been attacked by any offense like ours, to the caliber of ours, outside of Indiana. And what did Indiana do? Indiana threw at them on the outside in that one-on-one coverage. They threw a lot of out routes, and they threw a lot of man-on-man, comeback routes, back shoulder routes, right? And
Right.
Oregon had no answer from them. Elijah Surratt from Indiana had a field day against those.
I think that was number 13, right?
Yeah, he had a field day against those defensive backs. So
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with you. Attack them through the air, right? Without routes, and you're going to get a lot of favorable man on man on the outside, right? Um, Especially if you can run the ball, right? So my thing is, we have to be able to establish the run. We don't have to break for 10 or 12 yards of play, right? But we need to be getting 3 and 4 yards to keep them honest. That way, they have to bring those extra bodies, and we get that one-on-one coverage, and we can throw those out routes on them, go routes, those back shoulder. They struggle to cover those back shoulders. One thing about those DBs is they will pass interference,
Right.
and at home they get the benefit of a doubt a lot. I mean, they pull people down, and the referee act like they don't see nothing.
All right.
That's crazy, man. So run the ball because our offense is at best when it is when we're what's the word I'm looking for, when we're balanced, when we
Right.
can run in through, right, and then keep them off balance, make them go that one-on-one. Because yes, Indiana have a good little set of wide receivers, Surratt and number 3, but they're not Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane,
That's
right?
true. That's
And
true.
and they don't have our tight ends. So we're going to give them attack them through the air, run the ball to keep them. So basically, run our offense and attack them in the zone read. Like what I said in Mama, there goes the man. I expect Mava to be able to run the ball a lot because those defense ends do crash down, right?
Right.
They haven't played a quarterback yet that's going to be able to threaten them on the ground like that. When they played Penn State quarterback was not mobile. Even Indiana's, he don't keep on his own read. So Miles will be the first one that they're going to play to where they got to account for that, which will help slow those edges up. Early, if we see that the offensive line is struggling with this defensive line, start keeping one of those tight ends in to help the tackles. Like I said, we can't let Mateo what you say? How you say it? Uga?
Uyunglele.
Yeah, we can't let him go feast the famine, right?
Right.
Like I said, in the running game, well, basically, like you said, I'm sorry, like you said, in the running game, I'm not gonna say he's non-existent, but we're not seeing his impact as much in the
Mhm.
run game.
Right.
But in the pass game is where he wants to unleash and go, right?
Right. Right.
So run at him, run at him. You know what I mean? That way he's tired out, and then see in the fourth quarter if he still wants to make the tackle. So man, I'm like you. Attack him through the air to set up the run. Throw out routes. They struggle against the out routes. Throw man beaters, one-on-one back shoulders, and things of that nature. I expect Jacoby Lane to have a bigger day than Makai Lemon for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
They have a freshman corner, Brandon Finney, who is their star-studded, corner that they're probably going to try to put on Makai Lemon, and Makai Lemon is going to eat that freshman up.
Yeah.
Time to take him. Time to take him to class. Attack him, right?
Right.
And so that is how I attack him. And I know
And
Riley's going to
you
come
know
with.
what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Lennon might be that crazy. He might be crazy enough or bullheaded enough to put that kid on Lemon 1-on-1. I can see
Yeah,
him being that arrogant. Yeah, I can see
I
that.
mean they have a lot of confidence in this kid, not just
Right.
the coach side, the fans. They. I mean, I'm
So when you
seeing
talk
people
about a
saying,
player like Lemon, man, you talk about an NFL receiver right
"Yeah, I
now.
know.
Right.
I want them to have that confidence, right?"
Right.
What you say about the our coach? He said you see him with that smug look on his face.
Yeah, that smug look on his face when they
Hey,
kick fake work, and then after the game, he had a different look on his face.
hey, so I want them to have that confidence. I want them to say, because I'm seeing people, oh, Brandon Finney gonna lock down Lemon and this and that. So I want them to have that confidence, and I want them to try to man up Makai Lemon man on man. You doing us a favor, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And Makai Lemon gonna have a field day on them. All right, third down, and sorry about that, everybody. I had first down still up for a while. We was on second down. Third down. It's here, right? Expectation for the game. The spread is 9.5 on some places. On
Right.
some, it's 10.5. So expectation for the game. Will USC beat the spread? Will we win the game?
Hmm.
All right, I got third and fourth down.
Right.
So my expectation for the game, I think it's going to be a back and forth. To me, this is a game where last person with the ball, one of those type of games, win the game,
Right.
or the last team with the ball, defense makes a stop, and the other team wins the game. But I think it's going to come to me. I see this coming down to a last possession game, right?
Mm.
So this 9.5, 10.5, I don't see that they're gonna beat us by that much. Do
Mm.
USC win the game? Here's the key. What Oregon do good on offense, we don't do good on defense. Right? Let's just be honest. They run the
Right.
ball very well. We play the run very poorly. Right. Number two, the game is at Oregon and Eugene.
Mm.
We don't play well on the road and have not played well on the road yet. Right. Number three, this is going to be a game in the trenches. Their offensive line and defensive line, big, physical, and fast, right? We've had struggles. We've seen our offensive line struggle with the four-man rush against Notre Dame just from being out physical. We've seen our defensive line have struggles pretty much against everybody's offensive line in the run game um, as far as physicality. Do we win this game? I don't gamble, and this segment is not for you to gamble off of
Mm.
or whatnot. But if I did gamble, would I gamble? Would I say USC? Would I bet for USC to win this game? Probably not. But I don't gamble. I'm a USC Trojan, and what I see in this game is that if we come out and play 4 quarters, we have everything it takes to win this game. If
Right.
we come out and we play from the start, we can match up with them. As far as athletes, offensively, we have the better quarterback, we have the better wide receivers, we have the better tight end room. They might
Mhm.
have the better individual tight end, but we have the better tight end room. Our running backs are equal. They just have more depth right now due to our injuries, right? But defensively, yes, we struggle to stop the run, but we didn't just start struggling to stop the run yesterday. We 8-2. We've been struggling to stop the run for 10
Right.
games, but
Right.
yet we prove we can still win, which having such bad rush defense. I believe we go into this game with every ounce in, with everything against us, with everything I just said, with all the with everything the film says, with everything the stat says, with everything my eyes is telling me that I see. I just have a feeling, and I feel like this is it. We're due a big time moment. We're due a big time game. We're due a big time road win where we go in and we announce ourselves, and this is going to be the start that rockets our program
Mm.
back to the Pete Carroll days. This
Wow.
is this season here to me is like the Carson Palmer Heisman year,
Right.
where
2002.
where
2002.
they flipped
Yeah.
it around, and then the next year it came back and it was on and popping. I believe this game here because no one believes, because no one's giving us a chance. We're battle tested. We're battle tested on the road, right? This team has been blowing everybody out. They played Penn State, was a close game that they won in overtime,
Mhm.
and they lost to Indiana by 10. Those games have been far in between, and they've been blowing everybody else out. So we go in, we keep the game close, and we win it late. I have USC for the upset.
USC for the upset. It's kind of funny that you're saying upset. You know, we're not used to hearing USC having an upset over again, right? When you talk about the rich history of the programs.
I mean, about the last
Yeah,
decade,
yeah,
we
I know
are.
what you're saying. Well, again, that's still even with that a decade. That's still short lived. We talk about throughout the history of the programs, right? So you mentioned it earlier, and I also mentioned it in the earlier segment that we've been battle tested. Now I'm hearing that it's supposed to be some rain there. Again, you know, Marva has thrown in 3 games so far this season. He's been throwing in the rain, so bad weather. We
Phenomenal.
having yeah. He's been in that situation. So if anything, I would be hoping for some rain because
How about
the game.
not
Yeah,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you off? not to cut you off, but if it rains, it's in our favor. They
Yeah,
play
that's what I
horrible
was
in the
about to
rain.
say. Yeah, that's what I
Dante
was about to
Moore
say.
played bad in the rain versus Iowa,
That's exactly what that's
we
exactly where I was headed to. The game that I saw where Dante Moore had to throw in the rain, bad conditions when they played at Iowa, he didn't fare too well. So as a matter of fact, Iowa came within a one possession field goal of winning that game. I think it was the last second, last drive, last play thing where Dante Moore hit a receiver, and then they kicked the field goal to win that game. Outside of that, they don't win that game. But he didn't. He still struggled in that game throwing the ball. So I wouldn't mind it raining. I wouldn't mind it being bad weather because Jay Mava has experience throwing in that type of weather. Now, as far as the point spread, the 9.5 on some sites, 10.5 on other sites, those guys get paid. Those guys get paid well for predicting those games because for some reason, they're always within a point or two of that actually happening, right? But when you have two teams, like I said, that mirror each other, pretty much the only deciding factor here is that it's in their backyard. Now, whether or not our depth in the secondary will become an issue in this game, it may or it may not. But I do think that this is going to boil down to a chess match, like I said, between the coordinators and the head coaches. For that reason, I think we cover the spread, and of course, the home team is going to pull it out. That being the Trojans being the home team. But make no mistake about it, this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle, but it's going to
four
be
quarters.
there's going to be a 4-quarter battle, and we definitely can't come out slow like we've been coming out slow. We're going to have to go out and every quarter that we've had a good quarter in, or every half that we have a good half in, I hope that the coaches are showing the players on film this week the aggression. But I also hope that our coaches are going to be aggressive with their play calling on both sides of the ball. So, do we cover the spread? Yeah, we cover the spread, but most importantly, I do believe that we come out with the victory.
Right, man. Ah, hey, I'm like a kid on Christmas. Like I'm
Yeah,
excited but
right,
nervous, but I'm
right,
ready, man.
right.
Like we gotta have it. I don't you just feel like we're due? Like it's
We do.
time?
Yeah, I can feel like it. You can feel like it, but does the players feel like it? The players got to
I
feel like
believe
it.
they believe, man. I
Right,
believe
right,
they believe.
right,
I just don't want there to believe to be so belief that they feel like they can come out slow
right, right. They
and
definitely
say,
can do
well, we
that.
can overcome this. We've done it before because this is a whole different beast of offense to come
Oh
back
yeah,
on and let them jump
oh
out
yeah.
on you. And one thing we didn't discuss, and we'll move on to the next segment. Uh, we have the better field goal kicker.
Mm. Special
Oregon
team.
kicker, Oregon field goal kicker has about 4 or 5 misses on the year.
Yeah,
So in a close
yeah,
in a close game, you know what I'm saying, and it come down to it. Like those things matter. Like he missed a
yeah.
couple against. I can't remember. Don't quote me. I know he missed one for sure against Indiana.
Uh
Right.
huh.
That
Uh-huh.
that was a difference maker.
Yeah.
A difference maker.
It's good that you did mention special teams because, again, like I said in the earlier segment, they have one of those Aussie punters, and what I saw him do in a few
He
games.
he run almost to the
Yeah,
line of
right,
scrimmage.
right.
Plenty of
Which
kick.
what it does is it prevents your the punt returner from having any type of punt return. So you don't know
Mm-hmm.
whether or not he's going to take off or not. So what you got to do, you got to hold up your defense there, which means that punt return is going to be pretty down there, pretty much with limited blocking. But you don't know whether or not he's going to take off running with the ball or not. So that's going to also be important to watch him on special teams.
Yep. All right. Fourth down. Well, you know the saying here. We're going for it. It's 4th and 9. We
We
don't
don't
never
punt him
punt.
for.
We don't punt. So we're going for it. Fourth down. Offense and defensive impact player of the game. Who are you projecting to be the offense and defensive, player of the game for USC? Defensively, I'm gonna go with Gentry.
Got
We
Gentry.
we since the Illinois game, we really he's been quiet, right? Um, I'm expecting a big game out of him. For this is why I've already stated our best rush defense, right? And moving Gentry around to different spots and things like that. In this game, Gentry's going to have to be kind of that spy on Dante Moore, right? Which should increase his tackles. Not only that, I'm not putting no linebacker on Sadiq but Gentry.
Mm.
Let him cover. Let him cover Sadiq, right? Um, Not only that, big time players make big plays in big games. He is due. This is going to be one of those games that Oregon might be driving down the field, and we need one of them signature punch the ball out the hand as they're going into the end zone like Illinois, right? That he
Mm.
had. Um, I just feel like this is a game that Gentry is going to show up. We're going to hear his name called because of what he's going to be asked to do. I believe that he will be matched up and responsible for covering Sadiq, right?
Mhm.
I believe he'll be assigned that spy to Moore. I believe from the formation, I said, I think we will see it a lot. I hope to see it a lot. What's been our best rush defense? He's able to move around a lot in that, and that'll free him up to blitz. You look at Oregon, a lot of their issues come, like I said, is when the defensive line stunt and you send a linebacker. I mean, Indiana was eating them alive with those linebackers doing that.
Right.
The offensive line was just confused, not picking it up. Um, and so I think Gentry is going to be the defensive player of the game. Offensively, I have to go with Maeva because in order for us to win, Maeva has to have another signature big day. Um, I hate to say it's asking for too much, but as a USC quarterback, we need it every week, right? I know we
Right.
say every week Mava got to do it, and the kid is playing phenomenal. He's playing great. Can't take anything away from what he's did, his development. I mean, the reason we're 8-2, the reason we were a minute and 30 seconds from being 9-1, you know what I'm saying, is
Right.
because of Mava's play, right? Even against Notre Dame, Mava had a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, we're going to need another big game from him, distributing the ball not only through the air, but using his legs to keep the drives going, keeping those linebackers and those edges of Oregon honest. So I'm
Right.
going with Gentry and Maeva.
All right. For me, it's going to be our cornerback, DeCarlos Nicholson. I'm looking for
Mm,
him to be brought in and shut down one half of the field. I expect for Lynn to put him on their best receiver. Last week he didn't start, and I found out why he didn't start. It was some disciplinary issues he had. Maybe he missed film study, maybe he
mm.
didn't show up for weights or something like that. But I found out why he did not start. So, in my opinion, he's been our best cover corner. He's been our most dependable and most reliable cover corner. Now, Marcellus Williams is coming along. Braden Conley, both of those corners are coming along, but they're young, right? Both of them are young, and I think that Lynn has put Coach Lynn and Coach Belk and Coach Reed have decided that they are going to lean more so of the Carlos being able to lock down that one half of the field, like he's been asked to do pretty much for the entire season. So for me on defense, it's going to be DeCarlos Nicholson. On offense, I think we saw a touch of just a taste of him on last week, but I think Ryder's going to put more on his plate this week. That's not other than our running back Brian Jackson. And you saw he brought him in against Iowa on the goal line, to where it's normally, that would be a King Miller, but King Miller didn't have that size on him like a B Jack. If you notice that he also added another element with Brian Jackson with the Wildcat formation. He also brings them in on what? On the trick plays, on the plays where we do what? The flea
Flea
flicker,
flicker.
right? So and he does a great job with selling that. But I think that, in a situation to where we get in against Oregon, we come up with a 3rd and 1, we come up with a 2nd and 3, and we just got to run the ball, and Oregon is pretty much bailing on everything. I think Brian Jackson is going to be asked to do a lot in this game. So for me on defense, it's going to be DeCarlos Nicholson, and on offense, Mr. Brian Jackson.
All right. One thing we didn't talk about,
What's that?
and we'll get to it real fast. I want this game. Landing up to his same old tricks, right? He has Bryant. he has Bear, and he also has
Pregnon.
Pregnon as a team captains for this week,
Right,
right?
right, right. That's a
He trying to
slight.
be funny.
Yes, a
Yeah,
slight.
he trying to be funny, right?
Right.
He want to play them. Hey, we got to smash him.
You
All
have to.
right, moving right along. It's that time, everybody. No week other than this week that we needed more.
Right,
It's that time. It's our jobs not done series. Uh, a segment we started. This is B segment that we started for the Michigan game, right?
right,
Um, and ever since, the players that come out don't know if they watch the show, don't know if they hear it, but it's great words of encouragement. It seems like it has. So we, after the Michigan game, I said we got to have it every week on every film study video. Pregame, I asked them, hey, make sure you're ready. We need it. And so, B, I'm gonna pass it over to you with your words for encouragement for the team. Job's not done.
right, right. Well, like you said, we talk about this every week, right? And we also spoke about this team being battle tested, right? On the road in unfavorable conditions, unfavorable weather, different platforms and sports media platforms talking about them, different content creators calling them soft. And that's why we came up with this whole segment, Jobs Not Done, and to do something about, whatever narrative that they're painting on you. Again, we face a tough team in Iowa at home in the rain. Game pretty much favorite hour. What you came out in the second half, you played smash mouth football. You played for each other. You came back in a situation to where normally in past years they would have given up. Okay. But this is a new week. And you know what I always say, we remember the past, we don't live in it. Right? You continue to push forward along that line. You've been battle tested, but your path is a straight line. Remember, the shortest distance between 2 points on the map is a straight line. Well, fortunately enough for us, this line leads right through Eugene, Oregon. This is the old foe, right? This is old program that we just, we got a hatred for and they hate us. But for some reason, this feels perfect, right? Hollywood couldn't write a better script than this. This just
Right,
feels right, for us to be battling. You got two teams from the Pac-12 into a new conference, same coast. But the problem is one spot left, right? One ticket to be punched, and they're not moving out of your way. There's no elephant in the room. There's an understanding. They hate you, you hate them, but it feels right. This feels perfect for us to be in this position, right? I talked to you about being tough at home. Well, this time, hey, look, you're gonna have to go on a roll with it. Toughness travels, bullies travel. There's no other way around it. Your straight path, your path that you set for yourself at the beginning of the season, those goals that you set for yourself in spring camp, summer workouts, fall camp, all of those are still alive. You have the opportunity right now to rewrite a lot of those narratives. Again, there's no elephant in the room here. You hate them and they hate you, but it feels perfect. But there's one problem. You got to go to their house. You got to go past their front door in order to get to the path that get to the goal that you want to be in, right? You got to go right through the path runs right through their backyard. It's perfect. But I want to tell you something right now. Before you even get on that plane, you headed to a fight. You hit it right directly into a fight. So there's no surprises when you get there. So before you put on those cleats, if you're not ready to go to a fight, don't put them on. Before you strap on those pads and put on that helmet, button up that chin strap, I'm telling you right now, if you're not ready to go to this fight, don't go down that tunnel. Don't walk out into the field. You hit it right into a fight. There's no there's no talking when we get there. There's no peace treaty that we're going to go make. There's no communication that needs to be made. There's no talking that needs to be done. We're getting straight to it. You're headed to a fight. In order for you to get to your goal, in order for you to achieve that goal that you set for yourself, you got to go right through Eugene, Oregon. It's perfect. Hollywood couldn't write a better script than that. Two teams, one coast, same coast, new conference, one ticket to be punched. Are you still willing to walk that path, knowing that you can't reroute yourself, knowing that you can't dig a tunnel and go underneath them, knowing that you can't go over the top of, and they're not moving out of your way? What are you going to do about it? I'm telling you right now, if you're not ready for a fight, don't get on that plane, because that's what you're headed to. There's no surprises when we get there. We getting straight to it. You've been battle tested all season long. You can either settle for a mediocre bowl game right now, or you can go right through Eugene, Oregon, and punch your ticket to where you want to be. But you're going to have to fight for it.
Yes, sir, man. And one thing to note as well, I would rather be playing Oregon this week than Nebraska, Purdue, or Illinois. I'll tell you why. This is the first road game this year where we'll be in the same time zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have not started and played as well on the road, but this will be the first time we're in our same time zone.
Right.
We're not going 3 hour time zone different and playing at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? We're not going on that time zone, different time zone and playing at house, Nebraska. Like we'll be on our same body
Right.
time
On our
and
same
not
body.
dealing with jet lag, right? So that should fair to help us be able to start fast and come out, and being ready. The game is 2:30 Central, so that's a 12:30, Pacific time there. We should be all ready to go to come out and hit them in the mouth. One
Yeah.
interesting thing, and we'll get out of here, is that the last time we played Oregon, they was ranked number 8 in the country. That was the Grinch years, right? We were 7-4 that year. And we went up there, it was 36-27.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a much better quarterback, right? He played for the Broncos right now. He's killing. Well,
Bo
yeah, Bo Nix. I feel like that team was a better team than the team they have now. But I feel like our team is a better team than we had in 23, especially defensively wise.
But the reason why I said that this could be more perfect than what it is, because what's at stake right now?
Yeah.
What's at stake right now? It's only one. It's only room enough for one team to get to the goal. Where we going?
Because even though
both teams are not going.
Oh no. If we lose, we're out. That's 3 losses. We're not getting in. If Oregon lose, they'll have 2 losses, but they don't have any good wins on their schedule, right? Their best win would be us. You know what I'm saying? Because Penn State don't count. It was a good win at the time, but it's not a good win now. So if they lose, they wouldn't have their best win would be Penn State. You know what I mean? So even at 8-2, I don't think Oregon get in. We know the bias with the SEC; they'll try to get an extra team in, like Vanderbilt or something. But we'll see, man. But here's the thing: we're getting in. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna find a way. Our backs are gonna be against the wall. We're gonna go to Eugene, and we're gonna get it done.
Yeah,
but we're going to get it done. We're going to find a way.
Yeah, that's true. But what makes it so unique, like I said, when the job's not done, is both teams hate each other. So there's no elephant in the room here.
No.
We both know what is at stake. Which one is going to punch their ticket?
Because more than even just the playoff at stake here, this is a battle for a recruiting game as well.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing Oregon gonna try to do if they win the game, they're gonna try to call our recruits and see we the better. You know what I'm saying? That this is a battle. This is a battle for Oregon. Realize that USC is now putting that wall back up around California recruiting,
right?
And they know they're gonna be done for if they can't sink their claws in the Southern California.
And again, they got some players up there that came from Southern Cal, from USC,
and they leaving.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way right here. I know certain platforms not gonna say it, but here we're gonna say it. Val Alexander, Emmanuel Pregnon, and Gary Bryant. Gary Bryant left a couple of years ago, but mainly Val Alexander and Emmanuel Pregnon. Listen, be physical with these dudes. I don't care about no friendship. I don't care, there's no need to have no conversation with them, shake hands or nothing like that. Be physical. The game is over. Because if they did show physicality down here when they were here, then hey, look, I don't want to see any physicality out of them up there. they're going to have a personal axe to grind, and you should have a personal axe to grind too. Because the move, in my opinion, the move up to Oregon was disrespectful. It was a disrespectful move.
Especially the way well, Bear had quit real early, but especially the way like Pregnon, because he was like, nah, I ain't going to the draft. He came back and played in the bowl. We thought he was
Now,
gonna be back this
both
year,
of
and
them
then
were disrespectful. Both of them were
2 weeks later he was
disrespectful.
gone. So
It was different. It was disrespectful both of them because one of them, the one that left first, he was getting the playing time. He was
mhm.
getting playing time. So again, you're not going up there to be friends.
Nope.
No, ain't no
Y'all can talk.
conversation.
Y'all can talk and catch up at the end of the game.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then as well too, the coaching staff should know those guys' weakness and tendencies as well, which should be able to help attack them. You know what I mean?
hmm
As far as you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
both of them, like what do they struggle with? What do test them out to see if they done got better in what you knew they needed to work on.
Go
You know what
directly
I'm saying?
at them. Go directly
Mhm.
at them.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate you guys joining. That is going to wrap up our pregame film study review on Oregon Saturday. It goes down 11/22/2025 at 2 p.m. Central. We'll be going live. The game started 2:30 Central. It'll be broadcast on CBS. We'll be on at 2 o'clock. As always, we'll be on during the game, breaking the game down, taking comments, letting individuals call in. Man, so make sure you tuned in, call in, share your comments, let us know what you think, what you see, what's going on. If you just need a venting section, hey, hop on in. We appreciate everyone that like, share, subscribe, that join our lives. Man, this is going to be our biggest live of the year, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the biggest game. So definitely we're going to be on here. For sure, you're going to see the regulars, Carter, J.A., Young Tiny, Polly Walnuts, Leon, Baby T, Tobias. So
Yeah.
definitely I'm mixing
Austin, Big B.
Austin, Big B. Um, definitely know they're gonna be calling in. I know you guys enjoy hearing from all of them and their perspective as well.
Mhm.
Pretty sure all of them will be on for that. So man, come join us, B. Before we get out of here, you got anything?
No, just continue to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notification, and the like. We drop at least 3 videos a week, and then you add in the live. We're dropping a lot of content. We're trying to continue to grow this channel. This is our first season here at Fourth and Nine to Victory, hoping that we continue to bring you guys great content even in the off season. I also want to give a special shout out to those that are subscribed. We just passed the 200 mark for subscribers, so thanks to you guys. Continue to spread the word, and we'll continue to bring you guys this authentic content.
All right, man. Again, we'll be here Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time, ready to get locked and loaded as our USC Trojans take on and beat the Oregon Ducks in Eugene. I'm manifested. I'm saying now, USC going to get it done. Have to get it done. We will get it done, man. As always, till later on. Appreciate everybody. Fight on, fight on.
Right on.